Good morning. Just trying to give Facebook a minute to wake up. Anybody here with us? We're going to have a really good. Who is here with us this morning? I know it's qualifiers day, but we got to kick off the month with a blast. It was a great month. I know we're finishing up some things, and that's exciting. But if you're here and you're alive and well, tell us where you're calling in from. Just kind of let's wake up Facebook. Let's wake up the algorithms. Give everybody a minute to join. Okay. Well, let's kick off with, first of all, let's acknowledging that January was good. You may have not had everything happen and go your way, but it was a great month. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was the best January that I've seen us have in, I would say, at least 3 years. COVID has destroyed momentum and times where we had impetus to kick off and restart. It was the best January we've had in 3 years. But what do we want to do? We want to start off February with doing the same thing we did last month. We want to have those rhythms, right? Now, for February, we may not have the exact same scenario because in January it felt like we were kicking off a new year too. We were kicking off a new year. But in February, it's the same thing to kick off the month because remember, we're trying to build rhythm into our year by managing our month. And some people are going to join us for the first time and they're brand new each month. So I do want to just give a little bit of background and preface on the reason we're doing this and not just using a regular calendar and letting life happen is that in our business, if you don't learn to manage the month, you don't learn to manage your paycheck, you don't learn to manage your business, and it's not going to grow like you want it to grow. And some of you are using this growth journal. There's my new one for February 2023. I wrote the month on the cover. And we're doing a few things. And one of the things we're doing every month is we're going back, and you see here at the bottom of the monthly view, if you're using this, we're going to use 3 questions across the bottom. I can't go do right and left. And those 3 questions help us start the month and get into a right frame of mind, get into the right place. Okay? So, one of the things that we want to do is figure out what went extremely well last month. And we've already acknowledged that this is qualifiers day. We've got some tidying up to do. A lot of us are going to close out some last minute business today, which is great. But sometimes if we do a great job of finishing strong, the tendency is to take a big breath and we don't kick off the month well. So even if you're listening to this recorded because you're busy closing out the month right now, let's make sure that we kick off February. It's the 1st. Let's take these full 28 days. We've got exactly 4 7-day weeks to tackle the month of February. So what went well in January? I can tell you what went well from our perspective is we have a goal and a mission this year, and my key word is qualified. I want my business and I want people to be qualified so that they're at 100% place to receive all the benefits from this company. 100% qualified to me means giving all you've got. I mean, the Bible says, if you're doing something, give it your all. And so that's our goal. And so we had 5 or 6, just in our open, the small group that we work with, 4 or 5 that were back in POB for the first time. We had like 12 new PB qualifiers. It's super exciting. And you can feel the momentum. But I think it's because we did seize the month of January. So let's look back. And in your business, hopefully today you'll have an end of the month qualifiers report. and you'll get a thorough, even a more thorough one tomorrow after qualifiers day. But we're going to look back at that snapshot of where we stood at the end of January and set some new goals. What did you? I have a question for you. What did you learn in January that maybe was an asset? We talked about it on our last call. That was an asset that you have that maybe you weren't taking advantage of. Think about that for a minute. Remember, we said you had 5 employees, your upline, 5 people that were paid to help you. If you learn that at the end of the month, let's make sure we reincorporate that at the beginning of the month. So we're asking the question, what went well last month? Somebody tell me in the comments right now, certainly tell us where you're calling in from. I forgot to ask that. It's always fun to see where people are calling in from. Please do that. But what are some things, just popcorn, just pop them in the comments. Like, what are some things that went really well for your business last month? Since you decided to take advantage of the month, master the month, create urgency. Remember, we talked about at the end of the month, urgency does what? It destroys procrastination. Did you experience that? What were some of the things that you did last month that you want to do again? And I would specifically maybe look at a couple perspectives. One, did you have that beginning of the month coaching call and come up with a plan? What did you do the 2 to 3 weeks in the middle of the month to activate that? Events, 3-way calls. Remember, we said we want to have more 3-way calls than we've ever had before. Those can be Zooms or phone calls. They don't have to be phone calls. But they don't have to be Zoom calls either. Don't forget that sometimes that lowest common denominator of a phone call can be a whole lot easier than a Zoom call. So let's drop in the chat here. What are some of the things that you experienced that you did well, that you want to celebrate and you want to keep doing, keeping that rhythm of your business, okay? The second question, and you can drop those in here too. What didn't go so well? What's not going well? What went wrong? What were obstacles you didn't get around? What were things that were in your way that caused you to procrastinate or postpone? What are some relationships that you intended to reach out to but you didn't? Or who are some relationships you intended to reach out to but you didn't? Are there some character traits or habits in you that you need to eliminate that you didn't eliminate in January? What do you need to stop? What's getting in your way? What's slowing you down? Maybe you're got some wrong people around you that are bad influence. Maybe, here's one thing that happens a lot in our business. Maybe you're just chitty chatty with the same 3 or 4 people on your team and not reaching out to new people and not following up because it's just easy to pick up that phone call and kind of just hang out. And hanging out in that community is such a vital part of our business, but it's not going to help you with growth unless you use that community that we have, which is awesome, and you go out and you bring new relationships in to see how awesome that community is. So you use the community to help you grow. You don't use the community as a place that you hibernate as an excuse for not growing. Okay, so your community, the Juice Plus community, is a tool and a place to show off with new people to create growth. It's not a place to hibernate and just hang out. Okay, so remember that. And then the third question is what? Based on the answers to those first 2 questions, what do we need to do different? What do we need to change? What needs to be different about this month than last month? And that's where I want to focus and talk about that. So if you did not do a call with one of your 5 people that are paid to help you, remember you have 5 employees in this business. You have 5 in your upline that are paid to help you. Hopefully somebody close to you, there's somebody in that group that is a mentor, a successful person, an experienced person that you look up to. But if not, there is your first upline national marketing director. You need to go, that person is also invested heavily with incentives and bonuses and all kind of things to help you too. So that leader is paid to lead and help you by the company. So you need to reach up to your first upline national marketing director. If you don't have one person in your 5 that are directly above you, that you consider your mentor that can do that coaching call with you and hold you accountable, you need to find that person. For the month of February, this could be your new task for the beginning of the month. In the next 3 days, challenge you, who is going to be that person that at the beginning of each month you're going to get your PVC report out and answer those questions with live, and do one more thing, and that's come up with your plan for the month. Let's put in the chat right now, if you know who that person is, put that person's name in the chat. Who is the person that you're going to have that call with, and it's going to be your partner, your leader, your mentor, your accountability partner every month for 2023. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a mentor that's above you, that's super more successful than you are. Do you remember Jay Martin talking about, and if you haven't heard this, Jay Martin is the founder of Juice Plus. He started this company over 50 years ago. An amazing man, an amazing leader, one of the best storytellers I've ever known, one of the most generous people I've ever known, and just understands the heart and just power of relational marketing and relationships. And but he says you need a buddy. So your person that does your call with you at the beginning of the month, if you need more accountability than you do wisdom and advice, maybe you're feeling that you understand what to do, you just need someone to hold you accountable to do it, that call could be done with your buddy at the beginning of the month. I don't know what you need. Everybody's different. But you need to do that call. And you're going to do a couple things on that call. So for some reason, I can't see the chat this morning. Others are seeing it, and you're going to get filled in. But if you just make sure you're dropping in that chat who that person is. And I don't know why we got to have a technology problem, and I'm not seeing the chat at all this morning. It's weird. But anyway, you feel like you're talking to yourself. It's so fun to watch on Facebook when you've got this community of people. I know y'all are there because I can see how many are watching, but I can't see the comment section. It's just, I don't know, some kind of glitch this morning. But anyway, please put in the comments who your person is you're going to do those calls with. And you put, I don't know yet, but I'm going to find them. If you don't know, are you committed to finding that person in the next 2 or 3 days so that you don't have another month go by without doing what we're talking about? Having that call. And on that call, we're going to answer those 3 questions to figure out where we are. And then we're going to talk through what is your realistic goal for February? What do you want to do this month? And how many remember how we broke that down last month? There's 2 components to the goal you need to set. One is what you're going to do. What goal do you want to set that you're responsible for? And do you remember what you're responsible for? Or what can you make sure that it happens, that no one else is involved? That's new customers that you get. And by the way, we had an amazing month last month. The number of orders was up 35% over the previous month. Recruiting was up. We can see the fruits of the labor. It's happening, okay? So you can get customers and you can recruit people frontline to you. Those are 2 things you can do that you don't have to motivate or get someone else to do, right? So you want to sit down with that person, your account. Maybe you can set your own goals and you just need that accountability person, or maybe you need that mentor that's wiser than you are, more experienced than you are, that can help you set those goals, okay? So what this month do you want to do that's new customers for you and new team members for you? And remember, if you really have a hard time figuring out what that goal is, a good goal for everybody in this business, I mean everybody, would be to do a 5-1-1. If you're not a national marketing director yet, 5-1-1 is a good goal to do every month until you find your 5 key people, okay? 5-1-1 is 5 new customers, 1 new team member that you help get to Partner Plus, which is easy, right? It's just really a family on Juice Plus. And 2, it's helping someone on your team that made Partner Plus in January, previous month, or in the past, someone that's already a Partner Plus, helping them reach QSC, okay? So that's our 5-1-1. What we're going to do. So that's a good goal. If you don't know a goal, make that your goal. Okay? And you have control of that. except the QSC, you have to have a little bit of cooperation. But other than that, you're in charge of making that happen. And then the second thing you want to do with your plans and goals for the month is who are the people on your team that you've helped them uncover their baby goals, getting qualified for the first time, getting to Partner Plus, getting to QSC, getting to sales coordinator, Tower Garden sale to a school system they've been working on. I don't know. All kinds of, the goals could be all over the map. Throw some out there in the chat right there. What are some amazing baby goals that you've uncovered on your team? I mean, shout out to that person that you've got on your team that's going to hit, their goals to make sales coordinator this month. Shout out to that person on your team that you're going to help make sure they're qualified this month. Shout out to that person on your team that's going to have the best month ever so they can have the best paycheck ever. Okay? Who are those people? You need accountability for sure with at least a buddy. You may need that mentor or that source of wisdom to help you do this if you're brand new at doing it, okay? If you're a seasoned veteran and you know what to do and you just need accountability, that's okay. If you're new, you need someone that's been down that road before you that can help you understand this a little better, okay? So we're going to plan out, set your goals. And these are realistic goals, but they're going to stretch you a little bit. Remember, we're trying to grow your paycheck and make this month at least a little bit better than last month. If not, blow the doors off, okay? And the next thing we want to do in that beginning of the month call, so we're trying to start this month well, is we want to plan out our activities. Okay, it's February. What comes to your mind when you think of February? Well, it's Valentine's. It's Heart Health Month. That makes me think Barry's Vineyard cardiovascular studies would be good to talk about in some of our social media posts. And I'll put some stuff in the group this week, some social media guidelines for the month. I'll get Hope or somebody. We'll put in a 31-day plan, or 28 days for February, 28-day plan for social media that's kind of geared around some of those themes. Who do you love the most to give one of the best gifts you could give them? And that's the gift of health. Who could you talk to about Juice Plus this month? And as you think about who you care about, who you love the most. What's a Partner Plus? Who is a family that you could reach out to and share Juice Plus with, and there's your new Partner Plus. If you believe and embrace that you're building healthy families and healthy homes when you share Juice Plus, then you're building a Partner Plus every time. It's so simple, okay? So you're going to put those activities on your calendar. It could be some live events, definitely some three-way phone calls, definitely some Zoom events, some social media posts. What are you going to do the next 3 weeks to activate and accomplish the goals you just set? Anybody got anything they want to put in the chat? If you got a Valentine's kind of event schedule, maybe you've got a wine and wellness scheduled, a salad in a jar, maybe you've got a social media plan just to leverage the month, the theme of Valentine's and love and heart health this month. Do you have an event, a live event? Maybe you're doing a potluck in your home. Wendy Campbell always said there are more kitchen tables than there are Sheratons or Marriotts. We've gotten way more business done over the years by what we've done in our homes. Potlucks are amazing. All you do is open your home. You got to clean it and get it ready maybe a little bit. But everybody brings the food and shares the burden, and it's just easy and fun and great community. So what are you doing the next 3 weeks? What's going to happen locally, in your house, locally where you can drive to it, a live event? What are you doing virtually this month? We just had a big level up. I know one of the things that we're doing is we've got Peachtree Boot Camp this weekend, February 3rd and 4th, and there are about 300 people coming to that. How many of you participated last weekend in one of the two that I know of big events? I think there was one in the Carolinas too, but I'm going to leave it out because I don't know the details. But Guy Debut and Wendy and Stuart Kronagi, our CEO, were in the LA area or Northern California area this past weekend. They had a big crowd. And then Don Rathman, Susie Cruzy, Jeanette Vitruba, I'm going to leave somebody out. All the Prevention St. Louis crew, they do an amazing job. They had their St. Louis regional. They had over 300. How many of you were at one of those two events or were at a live event this past weekend? Chat it out. Where were you? What event were you at? Was it good? Like, I'm going to do this again? Like, answer to question number one. And was it bad? Just you can just do a thumbs down. You don't have to be detailed. You don't have to get into a. We want you to be anonymous if you're doing a thumbs down. But some events, honestly, you go to some events and they're not run well and don't turn out well, and you don't want to go back again. That's okay, you know. But we're expecting 300 this weekend, and I know there are more events happening in February. One of the things that you need to be thinking about right now is who do you want is your. This may not impact February's business, but it's important. Who's going to go to Phoenix with you? Phoenix should be one of the best conferences ever. I know some of the things that are going to happen. We're having breakout sessions to do some detailed stuff on Thursday. We're having a party Thursday night. Amazing speakers, new products are going to be coming out. So you want to be in Phoenix. Plus, it's great weather that time of year. But this weekend, like we've got Stewart's coming and Lisa Pepple's coming from the home office to the Peachtree Boot Camp, and Lisa's going to be talking about some new products that are coming. Amy Getz is going to be training on boards. Jan Roberto is going to be doing an amazing job sharing our research and our amazing product and why it's the #1 product of its type in the world. So what kind of events are you doing plugging into the next 2 to 3 weeks so that we can take that last week? I think you learned really well last month. Some of you learned the principle and didn't put it to practice yet. Some of you put it to practice already. How many of you feel like you used urgency to overcome procrastination and you had one of your best month ends that you've had in a long time? And that's what we experienced for decades. And that was using the last week, the last 3 or 4 days of the month to make good stuff happen because it was important because it was going to impact our paycheck. So all those things, I don't want to focus on the end of the month. We're going to do our finish strong on near the end of the month. I think it's the 25th or something. It'll be here posted in the group. But it's the last Wednesday of the month. And because of that, let's focus right now and let's close and wrap up starting well. We said we were going to do it in 2023. We got off to a good start in January, but then we got to make this month better. One of the ways you make one month better than the previous is you capitalize on that momentum. Okay? So what I want you to think about is what did you start last month and hopefully used urgency in that end of the month strategy to finish, that you've got new people in new positions and each of them has new goals for this month. Maybe you qualified last month for the first time in a while. You said, I'm not going to miss 1 month this year. So what do you need to do to make sure you're qualified this month? Maybe you qualified for performance bonus, but you didn't quite get to promote out bonus last month. Maybe you need your paycheck to be a certain amount and it's not there yet. And that may be where you need that mentor, not just the accountability for someone to come in. If I want to get my paycheck to X, what do I need to do? What's a target for me to get my paycheck to where I need it to be? You know, we haven't talked a lot about this, but inflation's nuts. Look at the price of eggs, gasoline, diesel, electricity, all of our energy sources, all of our food supply, shipping, everything is up. So making the same money you made last year is not good enough. You're digging a hole. What if you figured out, I just need to make 10% more than I did last year because that's what inflation's at, or whatever the number is. You know, I can no longer, my car's done. I got to get a new car. New cars have never been more expensive. I can't even believe how expensive a car is. You got to buy a car, set a goal. But you may need to sit down with that mentor to do that, to plan out this month so you can plug away and take that first step. I'll never forget bringing someone in our business, and they were in the education arena. And one of the things that we saw was it was so good because it helped them grow, is that each month they took on another responsibility of household income. So the first month, their Juice Plus business, she wanted to pay for groceries. Check. She did that. Second month, she wanted to pay for groceries, keep doing that, which is that good thing she wanted to keep doing. And she wanted to add one of the utility bills. So the second month, she did groceries, check, and one of the utility bills. Then she added another utility bill. She added the auto insurance. And by the end of the year, she was doing all those things and paying the mortgage. So look at where she was. In 12 months, she had taken the burden off of their household income that her husband, was struggling to be the sole provider. And she was taking care of a lot of babies. It's a cool story. But each month, she bit off one more bite. Groceries, utilities, insurance. Kept biting off more chunks. And by the end of the year, she was doing all that and paying the mortgage. Huge impact on their family budget. Huge. So what do you want to do this month? Let's set a big goal. Let's shoot for it. We're going to work our plan. Start using boards, using our resources. Talk about Juice Plus because it's the buzz out there right now. We've got ads running all over television about our farm to capsule story. You want to leverage that. Make sure you're using the hub at juiceplus.com on your My Juice Plus website. Log in and click on the light bulb and use the resources for the ad campaign that are there on the hub. Make sure you're using boards. Comment in here if you need help finding either one of those things. Me or Hope will make sure we respond to your comments and get that information to you. Hopefully you're using your growth journal. I'd love to hear this. And how many of you started last month with the determination that you were going to have that quiet start every morning? You were going to get up, put God first, have that quiet time before the world woke you up. Did any of you all start that? Any of you using Proverbs as your first journey or venture into that? Honestly, of all the details and things we talk about, I think that could be the most life-changing part of us being together at the beginning and the end of each month, is some accountability for you to put that quiet start, that quiet time in your life. I can't say if you'll wake up and have your quiet time and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to change your business. No, what I can tell you is if you'll wake up and put the right fuel in your mind, body, and spirit so that you're full of good fuel as a leader, as a builder in this business, recruiting and building your team and your customer base is going to be so much easier because you're going to feel like when you talk to people, what you're doing is attractive to them because they can see the overflow of that good fuel you're putting in your life. And it's way easier to attract people than it is to recruit people. So what are you going to do this month to be so filled with good, empowering fuel and messaging for good health, for a home-based business that gives you the time and the freedom to pursue the things that are God wired you to do, your passion and your purpose. You're on the way to stop trading hours for dollars. When you're fueling yourself up with ammunition for that, and you seek and you go out and seize the day, carpe diem. When you're full like that, the business becomes so much easier. So I can't give you like 1, 2, 3. If you'll do this, this, and this, it's going to change your business. But if you're full of good fuel, you're going to attract more people and impact more people and use the influence God's given you as a leader wisely to do amazing things. Because remember, if you just go after customers, you're going to build a customer base and build an amazing part-time income. If you'll focus on finding your 5 key people, you can be leaders and build a business with you. And don't stop until you find those 5. You may have to find 25 to find the 5. I don't know. Don't stop until you find the 5. You're going to get a ton of customers along the way, and you're going to become a national marketing director. But if you just go get customers, you might never put anybody on your team, which is not going to help you accomplish your goal of trading hours for stopping trading hours for dollars. So put in here in the comments, how many of you are doing that quiet start in the morning? How many of you feel more equipped for the day because you did that? How many of you are committed? One last question. How many of you have decided for 2023 you're not going to stop until you find those 5 key people that you can build your business with, that will join you and do life with you and do this business with you, that you can have an amazing business by investing in those 5 people, and you can stop trading hours for dollars. How many of you are not going to stop till you find those 5 people, that you're not going to just be a customer getter, but you're going to go find those 5 people this year? How many would say that? Okay. That's the attitude we need to start this month out. We're going to gather again at the end of the month, at last Wednesday. There'll be an event right here in this Facebook group. You need to join that event, say you're going, and then use that event as your share mechanism to push this down through your team so we can all be on the same page. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create a rhythm for 2023. We're trying to operate this business at 100% capacity so we're getting the most out of it. That means qualifying. That means having a plan. That means working the plan and finishing strong and not giving up and using a restart as an excuse. Okay? So it's going to be an awesome month. If you have to listen to this later, no problem. Finish today. It's qualifiers day. It's going to be an amazing finish. And let's take February and make it better than January and make it the second month towards having our best year ever. Okay? Talk to you later.